On a beautiful morning, Lily and her dad had just returned from the market, a bag of fresh chicken eggs in her dad's hand. As they entered the living room, he gently set Lily down on the floor to play with her favorite yellow toy. "Lily, be a good girl and play here. Dad is going to do the laundry for a bit and we'll be right back," he said. However, the little girl's attention was quickly captured by the bag of eggs her dad had placed nearby. With a child's curiosity, Lily crawled closer, picked up an egg, and turned it over and over, trying to figure out how to open it. After struggling for a while without success, she scratched her head, looking utterly adorable. Suddenly, a playful idea sparked in her mind. Lily scurried off to fetch her familiar little basket. To make the nest cozier, she carefully found a clean plastic bag to use as a liner. Once everything was ready, she returned and gently picked up each egg, carefully arranging them all in the warm home she had just created. With the nest complete, the most important task was at hand. Lily carefully climbed into the basket. Skillfully curling up so as not to break any of her treasures. She hugged the eggs close, feeling their cool, smooth surface against her skin. With a very serious expression, she began her hatching mission. She shifted from one side to the other, trying to find the perfect position to transfer her warmth to her future brood. Sue, the warmth of the basket, combined with her intense concentration, gradually lulled her to sleep. In the self-made warmth of her embrace, she drifted into a dream, her hands still protectively holding the eggs, guarding them like a real mother. When her dad finished the laundry and came out, he chuckled at the adorable sight of his daughter. He gently woke Lily up. Still sleepy, she scratched her head in confusion. Her dad explained softly, "Lily, sweetie, these are eggs Daddy bought for us to eat. They can't hatch into little chicks." To comfort his little girl, he handed her an egg and carried her into the kitchen. Together, they boiled the eggs.
Rồi, xong rồi. Nào, các bạn thấy à? Đi qua đây.
Soon, the fragrant smell of boiled eggs filled the air. Her dad carefully cut them into small pieces and gave them to Lily.
Đi ba. Đi nè. Dạ, đấy.
She happily sat at the table, eating by herself with great relish. After eating while drinking her milk, Lily accidentally knocked over her cup, spilling milk on the table. Afraid her dad would find out, she made a bold decision. She would wash her stained shirt herself. Without a moment's hesitation, the pitter-patter of her tiny bare feet echoed on the floor as she headed straight for the large washing machine. She huffed and puffed, using all her strength to pull a stool over. Climbing onto it, she stood on her tiptoes, opened the washing machine door, and put her shirt inside. But her mission didn't end there. She curiously climbed inside to explore. Just then, her dad, noticing her absence, went looking for her. Luckily, he arrived just in time. Instead of scolding her, he simply smiled at her mischievousness. He gently lifted Lily out and asked calmly, "Ah, so my daughter wants to wash her own clothes? What a big girl!" Understanding her good intentions, he didn't reprimand her. He showed Lily the soap dispenser, held her hand as she poured in just the right amount of detergent.
Chân coi, chân. Tay nha, đây nha. Rồi.
And then pressed the start buttons with her, explaining the journey of the clothes inside the magical machine. While they waited for the machine to finish, Lily once again showed what a responsible little girl she was.
Ôi trời ơi, tim nổi đúng không? Hả? Đây được không? Hả? Đây hả? Ừ. Lấy khăn đi, khăn kia.
She took a red cloth, went back to the table, and diligently wiped up the spilled milk.
Đây, mở ra. Khăn mình lau nhé.
After cleaning the table, she even wiped the floor before taking the empty cup to throw it in the trash. That afternoon, the air suddenly grew heavy and humid. Dark gray clouds began to gather. Seeing this, Lily toddled over to where her dad was resting, her small hand gently shaking his arm. "Daddy, wake up! It's gonna rain!"
Lily, dậy rồi hả?
Her dad opened his eyes, smiled gently, and looked out at the yard.
Trời mưa.
"You're right, my little princess. It's about to rain."
Rồi, đi ra đây đi.
The two of them sprang into action like a well-oiled team. Her dad quickly went to the garden, twisting plump, freshly harvested corn cobs into a large basket, while Lily's small legs carried her swiftly to the clothesline. She stood on her tiptoes, trying to reach each piece of clothing, struggling a bit with her own dress. The first drops of rain began to fall, and the duo hurried back inside just as the downpour began. "Did you get wet, Daddy?" Lily asked, looking up with her big round eyes.
Để mà sắp lại cái ly
After
nhé.
putting everything away, they sat down together, and Lily quickly helped her dad sort the clean clothes into a large basket.
Nè, phải cái ly nè. Thấy không?
The next task was even more fun. Her dad brought out the
bây giờ
golden
mình làm
corn
bắp rang
cobs
nha.
they had just
Đi nhé.
harvested.
Và con qua lấy cái tô đi, cải bắp, đúng rồi, mang qua đây coi. Đấy, bỏ xuống này. Đúng rồi đây.
They sat side by side, Lily's tiny fingers clumsily but diligently picking the kernels off the cob and dropping them into a plastic box. The rhythmic plinking sound of the kernels hitting the box was as cheerful as music.
Đây là bắp nếp đấy các bạn. Trồng ở Việt Nam rất là nhiều nha. Bắp nếp rất là ngon nhé. Màu trắng này. Gạo nếp vậy. Đó. Cái này Ly ăn hơi ngon Ly nha.
She worked with great concentration, occasionally looking up at her dad with a wide grin, proud of the important job she was doing.
Ly lấy thêm cái nữa đi Ly, lấy thêm đi. Lấy thêm đi con, đúng rồi mang qua đây. Cảm ơn nhé. Này, con bỏ ra kia đi. Con bỏ ra kia đi. Ly cảm ơn. Qua đây ngồi đi ơi. Ra đây, ra đây. Đây chơi nhỉ. Con muốn làm hả? Muốn làm cùng hả? Nè, thấy không? Nè. Điều nào chưa? Nhớ không? Cái hạt này dần cứng lắm, mình chưa ăn được đâu nhá. Nó bung ra để ăn ha. Rồi, ok rồi. Này, em bỏ thùng rác đi. Này, không cần đấy. Đi kìa. Đúng rồi.
When the box was full of golden kernels, her dad said, "Now Daddy is going to reward Lily with a surprise treat." He took out a large pan and placed it on the stove.
Rồi, mang vào đây coi. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu nhé. Nào, bơ ha.
Lily stood beside him, her eyes wide as she watched his every move.
Nè. Thấy không?
He dropped a slice of butter into the pan, and a rich, creamy aroma began to fill the air.
nóng lên thì đổ này vào cho Ly nhé. Này.
Then, her dad poured the kernels they had just separated into the pan. The sound of the corn sizzling in the hot butter was delightful. Lily clapped her hands in excitement, waiting in anticipation.
Rồi, nổ rồi. Nè, đi nè, đưa xem này.
Afraid she might get burned, her dad scooped her up into his arms so they could watch the fascinating show in the pan together. Pop, pop, pop! Each kernel leaped up, bursting into a fluffy white flower. In no time, a whole pan of fragrant popcorn was ready. Her dad poured it onto a plate, carefully blowing on it to cool it down before giving a piece to Lily. The sweet, crispy, buttery taste was heavenly to her.
Rồi, đi nào. Rồi, đi ra ghế đi con. Nào, con đi ra ghế đi. Con ngồi xuống. Ngoan nào, có tay cái nào. Giỏi. Đây. Sai rồi.
She sat at the table, using a small skewer to pick up each piece of popcorn and eat it with gusto.
Được Ly. Đưa Ly nữa đây. Cái này chắc dùng được không ha? Bốc tay ăn đi con. Bốc tay ăn đi. Này.
After a few bites, she turned to her dad and said proudly, "This is delicious, Daddy. I think you should open a popcorn shop."
Giỏi lắm. Thế ăn nữa lần sau làm thêm nhiều hơn nhé. Ngon nhỉ? Ăn đi, con ăn đi. Đúng rồi. Con ăn đi, giỏi. Ngon ha. Cái này là cái hộp giấy cho Ly nhỉ, bỏ cho Ly ăn ha. Để xem tivi nhỉ, đúng không? Con bắt để xem tivi đúng không?
Even after the snack, Lily's tummy rumbled for more. She clung to her dad's leg, signaling that she was still hungry.
Hả? Lily, gì đây? Gì đấy? Đây này. Gì đấy hả? Sao? Đói bụng hả? Bây giờ ba đang bận làm tí rồi, hay con đi mua đồ ăn nhé. Nè, con đi mua đi.
He gave her a banknote and instructed her to go to the small grocery store nearby to buy herself a treat. She took the money, feeling as if she were on a very important mission. She headed outside towards the little shop at the end of the lane. After walking a short distance, she stopped by a pile of logs on the roadside to examine the money carefully. However, lost in her thoughts, she accidentally dropped the banknote without realizing it. When she got to the store, she pointed at all sorts of fruits.
Lily, muốn mua gì đó Lily? Lily, muốn mua gì nữa Lily? tiền không?
But when the shopkeeper asked for the money, she was startled to find it was gone. Lily was flustered and anxious, not knowing what to do.
Lily, muốn mua gì đó Lily? Lily, tiền bạn đâu Lily? Tiền của bạn đâu? Bạn không có tiền à? Không có tiền thì không thể mua hàng đâu Lily. Sao đó Lily? Bạn không có tiền à? Lily, bạn không có tiền à? Bạn không có tiền hả Lily? Tôi có một cách cho bạn này Lily. Lily, Lily.
Just then, she noticed a floor mop in the corner of the shop. Without needing to be told, she cleverly ran over, picked it up, and began to vigorously clean the floor for the shopkeeper. Touched by her actions, the shopkeeper not only gave Lily lots of fruit and snacks, but also a small toy.
Đây Lily, công của bạn đây Lily.
After receiving her gifts, Lily thanked the shopkeeper and headed home. On the way back, right by the same pile of logs, she happened to see her banknote lying there. It had only been dropped, not lost. She happily picked it up and carried her red bag, full of treats, back home. When she arrived, her dad was cleaning. Lily ran to him.
Cho ba xem nào. Hôm nay đi mua gì hả? Đi mua gì đấy? Nào xem nào. Mua gì đây?
And poured out all the contents of her red bag onto the floor,
À. Ủa?
showing
Sao có
off
tiền
her
đây,
loot,
Ly?
including the still
Cái
intact
này đâu ra vậy?
banknote.
Cái này đâu ra? Hả? Cái gì đây ba nào? Vào đây.
Her dad was surprised. And after hearing Lily recount her entire adventure, he patted her
Lily,
head, praising her honesty
Tiền còn nguyên
and
này.
reminding her to be more
Cái này đâu
careful
ra
next
con?
time.
Hả? Ai cho hả? Ai cho con hả? Ai cho Ly hả? Thôi, mang đây ăn nhé. Mang đây ăn nhé. Đi nào. Ra ghế đi, ba cái táo cho con ăn nhá. Thấy chưa? Ngồi đây nhá. Ngồi im nè con ngồi im chứ. Đây.
Finally, he cut up a plate of fresh fruit.
Ngon không?
Dad and daughter sat
Đi mua đồ
together,
ăn này, không?
enjoying the sweet slices,
Ôi,
bringing a
kẹo
day
sao con ăn
full
được?
of memorable experiences
Mấy
to
này
a
con ăn ở đâu
perfect
nhá?
close.
Con này ăn trái cây được thôi ha. Cắt này cho Ly nhá. Cắt được tủ cho Ly nhá. Sai rồi con, sai rồi nè, sai rồi, đúng rồi, giỏi lắm. Ngon quá nhỉ. Ôi dồi ôi, ngon thế. Anh thấy sạch luôn rồi. Ăn đi nhá, ba đi dọn nhà tiếp nhá, thấy chưa?
That morning was truly peaceful. In the small house, the little monkey named Lily was lounging on a chair, a thoughtful look on her face. She scrolled through her phone, looking at pictures of her older sister, one after another, letting out a soft sigh. Life could be a bit boring sometimes, but that boredom didn't last long. From a distance, the familiar sputter of her dad's old motorbike grew closer. Lily shot up, her ears perked, and her eyes shining brightly. Dad was home! The door swung open, and the familiar sight of her dad walking in with several rustling bags made Lily's eyes light up. Unable to wait another second, Lily scrambled off the chair and launched herself toward her dad like a small brown bullet.
Xem thử không? Vào ly đấy.
Her dad laughed at his daughter's enthusiastic welcome. He gently bent down, placed the gift bags on the floor, and said, "These are all for you, Lily."
Chào mọi người nhé.
Hi.
Hôm nay tôi vừa đi nhận bưu phẩm về. Đây là món quà của Lily này. Đây là món quà này từ cô Kim gửi về cho Lily.
Lily's eyes were glued to the boxes and paper bags. She was incredibly eager.
Bây giờ mình mở quà cho Lily nhé. Thôi bây giờ mình mở cái thùng này trước đi. Xem cái này có cái gì đây ha.
Using both her small hands and her mouth to wrestle with the first box. She bit, tore, and tried to peel off the tape with her tiny fingers, but the box stubbornly refused to open. Her little grunts of effort filled the room with a joyful energy. Seeing his daughter wrestling with the gift, her dad gently intervened. "Let me help you with that." He carefully opened each gift, but always let Lily be the first to discover what was inside. A colorful world of snacks was gradually revealed. A mysterious-looking black bag of chips,
Cô Kim thích Lily đấy, xinh này. Đấy lau miệng đúng không? Có cái này các chị đừng mình mở sau nhé. Cái nào mình ăn đấy. Bẩn tay đừng dùng tới mình lau tay nhé. Lau miệng này, lau tay này nhá. Ha. Đấy vệ sinh. Đấy lau miệng. Đây. Sữa trái cây này. Đi uống nhé. Đây các bỏ đây. Bỏ bạn đây. Bỏ đây. Đây Linh. Đây cầm đây. Đây bỏ bạn. Đây là trong biển này, trong biển trộn cơm nhé.
a bag of brightly colored dried vegetables,
Nhé. Nè. Trong biển trộn cái cơm này. Đi thích món này lắm này. Thôi đi bỏ cái bàn đi. Bỏ cái bàn đây đi. Bỏ đây này. Đây. Đây là này nhá. Đây nữa này. Xoài sấy dẻo đi này. Xoài sấy dẻo này.
and, most special of all, a packet of golden dried mango that radiated a sweet aroma.
Ôi ơi, còn cái bì nữa cơ mà.
Lily's eyes seemed to focus only on the dried mango.
Đây. Thơm quá. Chào ơi, cứng thế. Mình ăn thử xong một lát nữa mình mở tiếp nhé.
She quickly took a piece, feeling its stickiness on her fingertips, and slowly brought it to her mouth. The moment she tasted it, her eyes closed in absolute bliss, her whole face expressing pure delight. The rich sweetness of the mango thrilled her. After eating it with relish, she even surprised her dad by proactively taking a tissue.
Lau tay nhá. Ăn xong mình lau tay đúng không?
Mimicking an adult, and carefully dabbing her mouth before wiping each of her tiny fingers clean.
Mình gấp lại mình lau miệng nhá. Này. Đó. Đúng rồi. Rồi vào đây ha.
The fun of unwrapping gifts wasn't over. Inside the last bags were a carton of milk and a box of cookies.
TH cho Ly này nha. Còn nữa kìa, lấy đi. Đây này. Đúng rồi. Rồi, chúng ta xem này. Cái gì đây? Đậu không?
Seeing two of her familiar favorites, Lily let out a happy squeal and hugged both boxes to her chest as if they were the most precious treasures in the world.
Ngon đâu? Ngon hả? Cho hạt này, cho ba hạt này. Đây, cái này bỏ tay đây. Đâu rồi? Đây mà. Cảm ơn Ly nhé. Thôi rồi, để ăn tiếp ha. Còn mình cất lại đi.
The floor was now scattered with wrapping paper, and in the middle of this lovely mess sat a very content little monkey, surrounded by all her delicious treats.
Rồi bỏ đây luôn. Đó, cái này khoảng 3 nhá, đi đâu nha, hay đấy. Kia nữa. Từ từ thôi, đây bỏ đây. Còn giấy nữa, giấy nữa, giấy nữa. Bỏ đây luôn.
And yet, amidst the mountain of snacks, her dad noticed a hint of longing still in Lily's eyes. He smiled, pulling out the largest gift that he had hidden behind his back. And this is the most special one of all.
Đi, ai lấy cái tay kéo đi, kéo ghế này. Đây, đây. Cái gì ghê tay này? Cái gì ghê chân này? Đây. Trời ơi, ui, lấy mày lấy. Sao nha? Rồi, mở đi. Đấy. Cái gì đã? Cái gì vậy? Cái gì lạ? Cái gì lạ? Cái gì nhỉ?
Inside the wrapping paper was a mini yellow beanbag chair, shaped like an adorable animal. Lily was stunned for a few seconds, then she burst with joy. This wasn't just a chair, it was a real throne. She immediately climbed onto it, sinking deep into its soft embrace, her whole body relaxing. Her dad even carefully adjusted her position to make sure she was comfortable. Lily snuggled happily into the chair, murmuring a thank you.
Nằm đi, nằm đây. Đây. Đúng rồi, cái chân này là đúng rồi.
Her dad just smiled and affectionately stroked her head. That yellow chair was more than just a gift. It was all of his love.
Chắc Lily thích cái ghế lắm đấy. Này, Lily chào nãy giờ. Lily chào từ nãy giờ rồi nhỉ? Đúng không? Đồ ăn ngon này, có ghế đẹp để ngồi này. Thích không? Thích không? Bây giờ đi làm, đi ngồi đây nhá, đi ngồi đây. Đây, đi ngồi đây. Lên đây con, lên đây. Đi ngồi đi, làm đồ cho đi ăn nhá. Đây, làm này ha. Đó, làm mặt này, tay đây. Đúng rồi. Làm đây chờ nhé. Đây làm cơm cho đi ha. Đi ngồi đó.
The next morning, Lily woke up to a strange silence. Where was Dad? She jumped down from her green bed, looking around inquisitively. On the dining table, under a food cover, was a yellow sticky note. Dad had left a message before he went out. A pang of longing for her dad suddenly rose in her. After quickly eating a few grapes, Lily sat on her yellow throne. and a grand decision was made. She would go find her dad. Like a true adventurer, Lily prepared her supplies, a bottle of water from the refrigerator. Then she headed out to the yard and climbed into her beloved pink toy car. With a skillful press of the pedal, the car rolled forward, beginning the quest to find her dad. The cute little pink car rolled along the dirt path and turned into the lush green vegetable garden. Behind the wheel, racer Lily scanned the area. And then she saw a familiar figure hunched over among the rows of plants. It was her dad. "Dad!" Lily called out joyfully. She quickly stopped the car and carefully got out, not forgetting to bring her important provision, the bottle of water she had prepared at home. With her little steps, she walked straight toward her dad, who was now watering the rows of vegetables with a hose. Her clear voice made her dad stop what he was doing. He turned around and broke into a warm smile when he saw that his little girl had found him all the way out here. When she got closer, Lily solemnly held up the bottle of water. Understanding his daughter's heartfelt gesture, her dad didn't drink, but instead lovingly stroked her head.
Yeah. Yeah. Nặng quá ha. Bà có đào cho đi khoai kìa. Đi ra ba cho xem nhé. Ở đấy khoai cho đi với cà rốt kìa. Đi ra ba cho xem ha. Để mang về ăn nhé. Đi. Đi về ha. Đi.
To reward her for the surprise and affectionate visit, he gave her the freshest and tastiest carrots and sweet potatoes he had just harvested.
Cầm giúp ba cái này nhé, cầm đi. Đúng rồi. Đúng rồi. Đây nè. Đúng rồi, giỏi quá. Ba cầm cái này ha. Rồi đi nào.
The two of them loaded the spoils onto the pink car.
Bỏ xe đi. Đúng rồi. Lên xe đi con, lên xe đi. Đi về nhé. Đây là Ly nhé.
Her dad even gave the car a little push to help her get started, watching with a heart full of pride as his little girl drove the vegetable haul home by herself. When she arrived in the yard, she got out, went into the house to get a basket. Filled it with the vegetables, and with all her might, carried it inside and carefully placed it on a small table, perfectly completing her first mission as a little farmer. Back at home, the joyful atmosphere continued.
Sao? Sao ngồi buồn đây vậy hả? Đỡ bụng à? Đi đỡ bụng à? Cho tiền đi mua gì ăn nhé, được không? Cho tiền đi mua gì ăn nhé. Ngồi đây, ngồi đây.
Dad gave Lily some allowance. Her mind immediately filled with visions of mountains of chips and cartons of milk.
Không hết rồi.
But then she remembered the image of her dad opening the pocket where he kept his money, only to fall silent. The pocket was empty. Seeing the fleeting look of concern on her dad's face, Lily's little heart ached. She realized she should save money for her dad. Without a word, Lily quietly took the money her dad had just given her and walked over to her piggy bank. The clink of the coin dropping inside was the sound of a big decision. Lily wasn't going to spend the money anymore. She was going to earn money to help her dad. No sooner said than done, she put on her wide-brimmed hat, bravely pulled a small wagon behind her, and headed straight for the vegetable garden. This time, she wasn't an explorer on an adventure. She was a real farmer. Lily got to work, checking each row of vegetables, pulling out weeds. The biggest challenge was digging for sweet potatoes. She used 2 sticks like a pair of giant chopsticks, digging away with all her might. After a struggle, a large, round, dirt-covered sweet potato emerged. Then a second, and a third. Before long, the little wagon was filled with the fruits of her labor. Tired but incredibly happy, Lily pulled the heavy wagon home. When she got to the kitchen, her dad was washing his hands. He was stunned to see his little girl return with a wagon full of sweet potatoes. His eyes shone with pride and emotion.
Ta lột cái ly nhé. Nhé. Đây. Ta lột cái ly 2 quả nhé.
Lily even took the sweet potatoes to the tap herself, carefully washing each one clean.
Ok, ngồi đây.
That evening, the small kitchen felt cozier than ever. Dad sliced the sweet potatoes while Lily sat beside him, watching intently. Together, they put them in a pot to steam.
Đúng các bạn. Nó bỏ đi. Đây nè. Rồi, trả lại đi nhé. Rồi, đậy nắp đi, đậy nắp đi. Quá. Đây. Rồi, bây giờ trả chín nhé.
A few moments later.
Ba chín đi kìa. Đó. Đó, xem nào.
Wow.
Thì nha. Đây, đến đây nè. Nóng nhé, Lý nhé.
When the hot, fragrant pieces of sweet potato were arranged on a plate, her dad carefully cut them into smaller bites for Lily.
Rồi, đi nè. Được không? Ổn không? Nè.
Lily sat in her chair, using a fork to spear a warm piece of sweet potato. The sweet, earthy flavor melted in her mouth. It was perhaps the most delicious sweet potato in the world, because it was flavored not just by the earth, but by hard work, love, and devotion. Watching his daughter eat with such enjoyment, her dad smiled, feeling like he was the richest man in the world.